This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Athletics.
Leaping at the wall, it's gone! A towering drive into center field by Rooker.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
A judging it blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep to right, away back into the second deck.
Bobby Witt Jr. becomes the first shortstop in Major League history to have two 30-30 seasons.
Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to walk-off dingers to Hall of Fame talk. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of A's Cast Live, Friday from the Ballpark in West Sacramento, and we have an absolute jam-packed show coming up here at 5:18. Adam Burke from VEASAN, the Vegas Sports Information Group, is going to join us for all your wagering needs. Talk a little wagering on baseball. Mark Gubicza from the Angels, former Royal great, will be here at 5:30, does television for the Angels, and then the Mark Kotsay show at 5:45. But before we do all that, it's Players Weekend. We're having a good time. One of our all-time favorites, Max Schuemann, is with us. Shu, how are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm feeling pretty good. 39 games left.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's going pretty fast.
Yeah, it always goes by pretty quickly every year. When you're playing every day and having fun, I feel like it flies, whether you know it or not.
So when we look at these last 39 games, what do you want to see for this ball club?
I think we've learned a lot throughout this year. I think guys are starting to really fill into their roles, and I think that I think a winning stretch down this home stretch would be phenomenal for this ball club.
No doubt, especially taking on the Angels now, who have had your guys' number.
Yeah.
Do you guys think about that? Like, man, we haven't beat these guys.
I actually saw that today. I think they're 7-0, right, against us this year. So yeah, I think we play them 6 more times.
Correct.
Yeah, so I think if we could, flip the script on that and hopefully take all 6, but I mean, just give them a fighting chance would be great.
Well, it goes back. There is a little bit of a rivalry between the Angels. So how about this? We've kind of talked about it. How about a goal here down the stretch to track down the Angels and not finish in last and have them finish in last place?
Yeah, I think that's somewhat what happened last year, right? For the most part, or no? Yeah. So I think, that'd be great. I think we could definitely do that.
You owe these guys. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So the year for you, last 39 games, looking at your year, what do you want for these last 39 for yourself?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think just going out there and putting together quality at bats whenever the opportunity is presented, and wherever I'm playing in the field. As you know, I've been playing kind of all over, mainly infield this year, and I think just putting together quality at bats, whether it be getting a guy over, bunting him over, driving a guy in from third base with less than 2 outs, or just working a count. If they have a starting pitcher that's doing really well, or he's a big name arm, going out there and just dragging out an 8-pitch at bat, something like that, something along those lines.
A lot of fans don't think about it when they just say, "Oh, Max Schuemann, he's a short, he's a second, he's a third. Oh boy, he's in center, he's in." Talk about what preparation is like for you when you know that you could be playing a lot of different positions at any time.
Yeah, I think just talking with Bob and Emart, just telling them and making sure that they have confidence in me to just go out there and be athletic. I think that's what we talked about in Texas, is just going out there and be an athlete. And I mean, wherever it presents itself, I kind of, whether it be third base, it's more of a reactionary position. So just getting lower or maybe just timing up my hop a little bit better pre-pitch. And then short, you have a little bit more time, but you have to be quicker. So just knowing that, and then transitioning into the outfield, in the infield, you have less time to, release the ball. So just being quick with my hands, and then in the outfield, making sure I get my legs under me and, kind of have a longer arm action to get more on the throw. That's
now, if I think back correctly, when you were in Texas and you went to center field, you were diving all around. So now that I think about it, they said, hey, just go be an athlete.
Yeah. I mean, center field's really fun. Obviously it's tiring because you got to run all around. I mean, we've seen some amazing plays from our center fielders this year. So for me to get my number called to go out there and play, I need to make sure that I'm at least trying to make a cool play out there, right? I mean, look at Denzel Clark and Law.
Yeah, you got to channel your inner Denzel Clark.
Exactly. I feel like those guys they both robbed a homer this year. So I feel like, for me, the least I could do is, dive.
Could you possibly climb the fence and rob a home run? Do you have the leaps to be able to do that?
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like everybody in that locker room would say no, but I'm gonna say yes, just because I got to have that confidence. But yeah, I think it would look a lot worse than what those guys have done. But yeah,
it would be one of the greatest things we've ever seen to see you Spider-Man up the wall.
Let's say that I'll give it my best effort.
All right, it's Players Weekend. Let's show some of your bats. We're going to have a lot of fun with watching what guys are bringing.
I wish I would have brought my hot dog bat out here, but yeah, so this is a crayon. I think it's Playa Purple, so that's kind of cool. Not sure which one I'm going to use yet.
That's like a bubblegum wrapper right here.
This is a bubblegum wrapper.
And then you have another bat that's like a hot dog?
Yeah, it's a hot dog bat, so just like mustard and ketchup on it. It's pretty cool.
You got to come out with the hot dog bat.
I think the front runner right now I think is the bubblegum bat, just because I crush bubblegum throughout the game. So
do they so they're the same bats, obviously.
Yep.
Feel the same, everything the same?
Yeah, pretty much.
How do you like Players Weekend?
I like it. I think it's good. I think it's good for the game. I think it's good to show, players' personalities and what they like. I feel like it's baseball is such a weird game, right? Like, I feel like you want to go out there and use the same stuff all the time, especially when you're doing really well.
Oh yeah.
So if you're not doing so well, I think it's a good little mix up to, go out there and use something different, something that looks a little bit different. And, I'm sure you'll see guys stay away from using these bats and using different gloves and stuff like that, just because if you're doing really well, why change, right?
But if you're doing well and all of a sudden you're swinging it with the hot dog bat,
there you go.
You're rolling with the hot dog.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Until it breaks.
Yeah. So I don't know. I bet a lot of these bats turn into BP bats and stuff like that too. So I think you'll still see them throughout the year. But yeah, I'm really glad that they do this.
On NBC today, we're going to be running a back-to-school special with all the players, since obviously it's back-to-school time.
Yep.
And one of the questions that we ask a lot of the guys in the clubhouse is who's the class clown? Your name got brought up, and I think it's a big compliment, because whether you're an everyday player or not, you got to bring good vibes. That's what we talk about. We just have Willie MacGyver on the program. There's something about guys that show up every day in a good mood, good vibes. You need people like that in your clubhouse, because as you said, it's a long season. It's a hard season. There's a lot of negative.
For sure.
You want guys around you who bring positive. So how important is that to you that you are one of those guys?
Yeah, it definitely means a lot. It's like I said, it's a very weird game, right? So it's easy to have bad energy at times. And I think being a guy that brings good energy and whatever it may be, I think laughing is one of the best things in the world. So if I can make someone laugh on any given day, especially when, vibes may be down, I think that is beneficial for the team.
And actually, you're wearing the shirt we've all been wondering about.
Yeah.
This is the Big Amish shirt.
It's a little sweaty, but yeah, Big Amish.
So he's churning right there. That's the first. You've come up with a lot of good players. You've come up with a lot of guys inside this organization. Just watching guys like Jacob Wilson and Nick Kurtz, what does it say about the future of this ball club?
I mean, how can you not be excited, right? Like, I think that it's been really, really fun to follow. I mean, obviously some of them have dealt with injuries throughout the year. That's just going to happen. But yeah, I feel like that's the best way to put it, is how can you not be excited about, the Jacob Wilsons, the Nick Kurtz, the Lawrence Butler, like all those guys. So I don't know. I think the future is very, very bright. And I'm really looking forward to see how it all plays out.
I'm just glad we're not putting nicknames on the back of the jersey, because what are they calling you now?
Well, all the guys call me Shoe Baby. So
Shoe Baby.
Shoe Baby.
Where did Shoe Baby come from?
I don't know. I think it was last year at some point, whether it was like think it was Law and maybe Daz Cameron. They started calling me that, and I think it's kind of just stuck around. So, yeah.
And I can just see you're one of those guys that you just go with it.
Yeah, go with it.
You just go with it.
Of course.
Hey, well, let me tell you, we've always appreciated the time here on A's Cast Live. I know you mean a lot. When we talking to the coaching staff or a lot of the players, you mean a lot to this organization, what you bring on an everyday basis. So finish up strong these 39 games. Look forward to seeing it, and we'll see what you could do with
let's go, baby.
with the bubble gum bat. But you got to get the hot dog in there.
Yeah, I will. I'll mix it in. All righty.
Max Schuemann here on A's Cast Live. You are free to go, my friend.
All righty. Appreciate
Great
the time.
stuff as always. Once again, we're going to have Adam Burke coming up here at about 5:18. We'll get you ready for any kind of wager. He's got some interesting when looking at analytics and looking at wagering. Like analytics play a part when you're wagering in baseball. So obviously as a team that's going to be going to Las Vegas, we're going to be checking in with a lot of stuff that happens down in the desert. Adam Burke will be here at 5:18. And then at the bottom of the hour, we will have Mark Gubicza and also Mark Kotsay for the Mark Kotsay Show. One thing that we wanted to get into today, I thought was a great article. You might have seen it, might not. It popped up, and I absolutely loved it because it said, teams at the 2025 deadline. By the way, like my mic's got to go up. Has it something? Yeah, there you go. See, we preset the mic and the headset before the show. And then as I'm talking to Shu, it all changes. Why is that?
Not sure. We didn't change anything.
Baseball.
No way nothing was changed.
I go home and I work out.
No, why did people don't like my Shohei Ohtani? Play that. So this is my interpretation of. So as we know, whenever Shohei Ohtani gets into any kind of what would we like to call it? Scandal,
hot water.
Everybody always just says that Shohei Ohtani knows nothing about anything, that all Shohei Ohtani knows is baseball. He shows up, he plays baseball, everything, his own bank account, his own life. He knows nothing about anything. So I was having a little fun. I'm not really doing Shohei Ohtani, but this kind of is my impression of Shohei Ohtani as a human being and how he goes about his business every day. Are we ready? Go ahead.
I just play baseball. I just show up, I hit, I pitch, I go home, and I work out.
Isn't it true, though? Like,
we should have played for Gooby. He was the one that was around him more than anyone.
I mean, seriously, this guy, it was an ultimate gambling scandal, a scandal that's still going on. Oh, they cleared him right away. Millions of dollars. He's got no idea. Now there's a lawsuit on the big island of Hawaii. Are they going to act like he had? Because he and his wife are going to move in to this first house, to this property. Are we going to act like he knows that? We're just going to act like Shohei Ohtani has such blinders on that he has nothing. He knows nothing about what happens in his own life. He just shows up and plays baseball. I just play baseball. That's all I do. I just play baseball. I don't dress myself. I don't even know how to. I don't even know how I eat. I just play baseball. I admit it. I'm jealous. Is that what we're going to do here?
I mean, he's going to be cleared and everything's going to be fine.
I can't even work my iPad or my cell phone. I just play baseball.
People make calls for me.
Yeah. I can't even.
Christopher.
I don't even know how to text. I just people do it for me. Everybody does everything for me. Oh, by the way, all of a sudden he has a wife.
And a dog.
He had a girlfriend that no one knew about. All of a sudden he's got a wife. So he has a life. He had a love life that we didn't know about. There's more to him than I think we really know. I think he knows more about what's going on in his life than he leads on to.
Well, wasn't his
It's
dog?
like the ultimate protection. Just play dumb. I'm just going to play dumb. I know nothing.
Wasn't his dog?
I don't even know how I got here today. I got here from my hotel's like right. My hotel's there, and I somehow got here.
His dog's
I
name
don't
is.
even know where to go to eat.
His dog's name's Decoy, right?
There's Delaire.
The boss.
Yeah,
his dog's name's Decoy. So Decoy. Sorry.
I don't even know how my dog eats. How do I get dog food? I play baseball.
Does he know how to get does he know how to get dog food for his dog?
Probably orders it off Amazon. Or someone orders it off Amazon.
Do you think he can even order off Amazon? Does he know he has an Amazon account? I mean, the whole thing is so ridiculous. 2025 deadline sellers who could be buyers in 2026. I went, oh boy, are we on this list? Guess who is number one? You go to MLB.com. It's one of their top stories. 2025 deadline sellers who could be buyers in 2026. Guess who's number one?
Us.
Wow,
the Athletics.
You're smarter than Shohei Ohtani. I don't know. I don't read. I just play baseball.
They tell me what it says.
Yeah, read it for me. Says the
Okay,
A's,
buddy.
number one. And I think they're right because you asked me a really good question. Were the A's really sellers at the deadline? They have to be because you gave up Mason Miller.
Yeah.
But the reason why you gave up Mason Miller is because the Padres had to give up everything they didn't want to give up.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like an old mob movie. They made you an offer you couldn't refuse. So I think you're totally right. Because when you look at Severino, you look at Springs, you look at Lopez, we're going to kind of go with that for a 3. You brought this up to me today, and before we get to Adam Burke, I think it was a great point. It's like these last 39 games, it's about finding pitching depth. To go around, you're going to have like a big 3, and then you need Perkins may be a big 4, whatever it is, but you need to go find a bunch of depth right now.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're trying to see with Perkins, and then we're going to see Morales tomorrow. We're going to see more out of JT again for the season ends, and then hopefully maybe we'll see a couple of guys that could be coming up from Vegas still that might make a few starts and build on Jeffrey Springs and Jacob Lopez and Luis Severino going into next year because
Luis Morales
tomorrow,
Gage jump,
yep.
This Braden Neck kid who got in the Padres deal with
Brady Basso's going to be back at some
Vries.
point this year. I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys we're hoping to see this year that could come back and be hopefully potential players for the team next year with the starting pitching and the bullpen depth because that's, as we see with the 33 relievers being traded, that's how teams are building their strengths going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's why I think I would have mentioned when did Ginn pitch? Ginn pitch Wednesday?
Well, yeah. Wednesday.
I said I don't care how bad that outing looked for Ginn, throw him back out there. I don't care what Morales looks like, throw him back out there. I don't care what Perkins look. I mean, I care if they do well, but if they don't do well, I don't care. Throw them back out there.
Yeah, they're the guys.
Let them learn. It's like throwing the kids in the deep into the pool and saying, "Got to learn how to swim," and this is the only way you're going to learn how to swim.
They're the future of the organization, so you got to get something out of them. You know what you're going to get out of Jeffrey Springs because he's been good and healthy all this year. You know what we've seen from Luis Severino. I know he's hurt right now, and Jacob Lopez has been a revelation, and he's been awesome, and he's pitched well at home, and he has the 24 scoreless inning streak. So you got those 3 guys. You need to find at least 4 or 5 more guys, at least going into next year, because we know we're going to use at least 13 starters.
And one thing we have only a little time left, but something that we're going to check to see over the weekend, and then something to really talk about is the word urgency. It's something that people don't like to use for teams and players. They hate doing it. At the start of every single year, doesn't matter, baseball, whatever, no one wants to have urgency. Why? Because it's early. Because it's early.
I was because there's enough playoff spots.
Now, because what we're seeing with the Dodgers kind of reminds me a lot of the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, that's what the Warriors were, yeah.
The Golden State Warriors, it was always, they'll flip the switch. They're going to flip the switch, no problem. They've done this before. They're going to flip the switch, no urgency. When's the last time the Warriors won an NBA title?
2021? 22, sorry.
Well, what happened to flip the switch?
Yeah, that was 3 years ago now.
There are very few human beings, once they have success and they get the money, it stays the same. And something I'm probably going to keep for Monday, I just recently saw
Tuesday.
It's
another off day Monday.
Tuesday then. They're perfect. Time to breathe. It's about Tiger Woods. And when I think about Tiger Woods and I think about Michael Jordan and I think about Tom Brady, what's one thing they had all in common? Forget about championships. What's the one thing they all had in common?
The drive.
Money didn't matter to them.
Also a good point. Yeah, Brady never cared about money.
Didn't care. Tiger Woods knew money was coming. Tiger Woods did not care about the second place check, which was still over $1 million. He never cared about the money. Michael Jordan didn't care about the money, chastised his friend at the time, Charles Barkley, for complaining about the contract that he had signed, right? Yeah. Jordan knew the money was coming through Nike and Gatorade. Jordan was about winning. And the problem with paying everybody, the Dodgers have spent $1.6 billion. $1.6 billion the last 2 years. You don't think guys start to get fat and happy? Where's the urgency?
Yeah.
It is very rare that you can take athletes who don't care about money, who don't care about fame, who want to do the little things every single day, and they always have urgency to be greater, to be better, and they want to defy the aging. Most of these baseball, that's why I don't want to give these baseball players money before they've earned it. You kill their urgency, and you start to see athletes as they get older, and we've won. Are you doing the little things every day to win a championship?
Doesn't seem like the Dodgers are right now.
Are they? And everybody's saying, oh, they're going to flip the switch. Are they? What'd you say? Warriors with 21-22 season? Yeah, it's now been a while.
It's been 3 years.
All right, let's head to Vegas. Our buddy from Vries and Adam Burke. Let's talk a little wagering in baseball. Adam Burke now joins us from Vries in Las Vegas. Adam, how are you down in the desert?
I'm good, man. It's hot still very hot, but I'm sure you're dealing with that more, this year than in past seasons.
Well, we've been seeing like you've been around 110 down there.
Yeah, and feeling every bit of it too.
But the great thing is the air conditioning is pumping in the casinos in time to make a little money as we're talking about wagering on baseball. Obviously, VSiN is your go-to down in Las Vegas. And, of course, VSiN for everybody. You can take advantage of all their great knowledge and how to get better at wagering on all sports. Football seasons here. And before you know it, we'll have NBA once again. But let's talk baseball. This time of year, what is our strategy in the dog days?
Yeah, I think dog days is a really important way to put it, right? I mean, you've got a lot of pitchers that are dealing with a lot of different things, shoulder soreness, elbow soreness, something else. You're kind of on the lookout for guys that are maybe losing a little bit of velocity. Zach Wheeler, for example, was down, across the board on all of his pitches in his last start, dealing with some shoulder soreness. So you try to pick up on those things, maybe some younger starting pitchers reaching new career highs in innings, or at least career highs and high stress innings at the MLB level, and trying to pick on some of those things, because at this point the sample sizes are large enough to know mostly what we're dealing with these guys. But if you can find a situation where maybe a guy's spin rate is down a little bit, maybe his velocity is down a little bit, maybe his control metrics don't look so good because he's maybe just getting a little bit tired trying to push through, those are things that you can use to your advantage to find winners in the baseball market.
Now, we've talked to you in the past, but we really haven't got into it. There's certain metrics, and of course, we're in the land of analytics and sabermetrics and data. What are the certain things you like to look at?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a handful, but there's a couple of things I think you can look at right off the top that are very, very easy to use in your analysis. And one of them is batting average on balls in play, BABIP, BABIP, whatever you want to call it. It's basically batting average if you take home runs and strikeouts out of the equation, because a home run is not a ball in play. Nobody has the chance to field it unless it's a rare inside the park home run, something like that.
Or it's Denzel Clark in center field. If Denzel Clark's in center field, it could be in play.
Right. That's very, very true. Yeah. I mean, I got to watch Kenny Lofton growing up, so yeah. I know what that's like. But then, strikeouts obviously are not balls in play. And, as we've seen, I mean, you can hit a ball 110 miles per hour off the bat, but it goes right at somebody. You can hit a ball 45 miles per hour and it dribbles up the third baseline and becomes an infield single. So once the ball is in play, it's just subject to a high amount of variance. There are a lot of baseball stats that become very predictive. They become stable. They reach points of stabilization where what you see is kind of what you get. Batting average on balls in play is not one of them. It's a stat that is open to variance all season long. So if I see that a guy's running a batting average on balls in play in the 400s over his last 5 starts, that's going to get better. The league average is 288. So that's something where it's an outlier. It's something that should regress to the mean. The law of averages suggests that it will. So maybe that's a guy that I want to take an extra look at and see if maybe I want to back him in one of his starts. The other one that's like that is called left on base percentage, where the league average for that one this season, 73.2% for starting pitchers. So if I see a guy that's in the 50s or the 60s over his last 5 or 6 starts, or in the 90s, he's not going to strand runners like that or, allow all these runners to score for the rest of the season. So batting average on balls in play and left on base percentage are 2 metrics I look at very, very closely because they're subject to a lot of luck and subject to a lot of variance.
I like how it's about playing the percentages. I do that all the time with our guys around here, right? Because when you're dealing with sports people, everybody likes to have a sports take and the hot take. And I go, I'm not so sure about that. So I love to be, it's like the old Tiger Woods. You're going to bet Tiger Woods or the field? I'll take the field. I'll take my chances. I'll always play. It's like my producer one point a couple of years ago bet me there won't be anybody that throws 200 innings in a season. And I go, well, I'll bet the field that at least one. I don't have to bet a name. I'm betting everybody. So I like always playing percentages. I like that. And you're looking at, like, if a guy is too good or too bad, they're always going to come back towards the middle.
Yeah, you would certainly think so. And at least if nothing else, right, it's a starting point. So, for example, I mean, Yusei Kikuchi's getting the start for the Angels on Friday. Batting average on balls in play over his last 5 starts is .413, right? That's a pretty significant outlier. But he's also a guy who allows a ton of hard contact. So then I have to decide, okay, I know this is going to get better, but to what degree will it get better? Is this the matchup where maybe it will get better? But then you go and look, the A's are a top 5 offense against lefties over the last 30 days. Maybe this isn't the spot, but I'll keep that in the back of my mind and probably bet on the Angels on Wednesday when Kikuchi's scheduled to start against the Reds. So those are things that you just kind of file away where maybe it doesn't work out today because of the matchup or because of something else. He's a homer-prone guy, tough ballpark, all these types of things. But it's something you remember for the future so that when you find a spot where you like it, you're already prepared. You already know it.
How do you look at a guy like Jack Perkins where there's not a lot of data? There's not a lot of data on him starting. He's got great stuff, needs to get better at throwing strikes. But once again, he's got great stuff. He's young. How do you look at that early on? This is, not a whole lot of starts, most coming out of the bullpen. What will you look at when you look at a guy like Jack Perkins?
So when you look at a guy like Jack Perkins or really anybody who has, a more extensive sample size of minor league appearances than they do at the major league level, you're looking for a few different things, right? You want to know, can they miss bats? Because if you can miss bats at the big league level, that's going to help you out a lot. Now, it's definitely difficult for that to translate sometimes from the minors to the majors. But if you're getting a lot of swings and misses and you're not giving up a lot of home runs, that's a really important, set of traits for me. The other thing is you have to know the leagues, right? You have to know that in the Southern League in AA, the ball carries like a rocket ship. In the Pacific Coast League, it's a very, very difficult league to pitch in AAA, whereas the International League is quite a bit easier because you don't have all the super hot places and the elevation and all of that. So if you're a pitcher in the PCL, as Perkins was with a 2.86 ERA, 3.47 FIP in his 44 innings of work, like, to me, that's impressive because I know the conditions he's pitching in and game out. So I think there's some things that translate for him to the big league level, like the strikeouts, like some of the command metrics. So those are the things that you kind of want to look at. But you have to know the context of the league in which those guys have been pitching in so that you can evaluate what will make the leap to the big leagues and what's something that a guy could struggle with.
Absolutely love it. We got the dog days of baseball coming in, and you're going to start seeing some more young players, a lot to look at there. Before you know it, we have the first college football games, the first big matchups. Then you got the National Football League is starting. We got the golf playoffs coming up. Some people may even want to wager on the Ryder Cup. Tell everybody how to sign up at VSiN.
Yeah, and we cover all that stuff and more over at vsin.com. So right now we're running a $9.99 introductory offer. It's your first 30 days, your first month to see what VSiN is all about. And that's the Vegas Sports and Information Network, by the way. But vsin.com/subscribe to take advantage of that. We put out a 186-page college football guide on August 5th. We're going to have a post-preseason updated NFL guide coming out August 26th with some players to watch, fantasy advice, contest advice, stuff like that. So $9.99 for that intro offer, definitely a great deal over there to get our football guides and also see what we do across all the other sports.
It's my favorite time of the year, baseball. Next thing you know, we're going to have playoff baseball. Then you got the NFL, you got college football. It doesn't get any better. Adam, great stuff. We'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it, Chris. Thank you, man.
Here's the pitch, and it's a hit.
Folsom Lake Ford has stepped up again, winning the Triple Crown Award, Ford Motor Company's highest honor, now 7 years in a row. Folsom Lake Ford is a top sales leader in the U.S., along with being top in customer satisfaction in sales, service, and finance. Now that's a home run. Don't miss the huge savings on your favorite models at your truck headquarters. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall.
Shea Langoliers joined Chris Townsend on A's Cast Live in West Sacramento to talk about stepping up and becoming a leader for the A's.
Maybe towards the end of last year, the end of 2024.
Yeah, it's something that just kind of happens. Like all of a sudden, guys start asking you stuff. You used to ask those questions. Now those questions are being asked to you, and it's kind of something that just gradually happens, and all of a sudden you're kind of a guy people look up to, and I really noticed that. And you know, we understand when we have players in this situation, and like where you are right now, and the younger guys come up and they start bringing up your name, I start realizing, okay, we're starting to see that transition. Tell us what that's like. It's got to be a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. Like you said, it's the questions I was asking when I first came up, and the questions that I'm getting from the younger guys now. And I'm not one to claim to know all the answers and have all the answers. Just be as honest as I can with them, what my experiences were, what I went through, what I thought helped me. And like I said before, everybody's different. Everybody's going to have, a different answer to what their question is. And I just, go off my experience and what I felt made me better, and then they adjust with that.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/AceCast.
The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
A's 2025 first-round pick Jamie Arnold talked about the feeling of getting drafted during his sit-down of Towny on A's Cast Live.
Yeah, that's kind of when it all set in for me, because obviously leading up to the draft, you don't know where you're going to go. So, once I got the call and I knew I was going to be an A, like it kind of all set in for me, and it felt real. And, thinking about this team, it's such a young team, and, we're moving to Vegas. So I was super excited, and, I'm super happy to be here.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/AceCast.
Streaming from West Sacramento, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
So looking at Babbitt, no, not the analytic for our good friend Shooty Babbitt, who we'll see back in San Francisco on Tuesday. I like the percentages. I like what he was talking about. Yogi Berra was the one who said it's deja vu all over again.
Correct, he did.
And that's what this series feels like for the Athletics, as last time they were coming to West Sacramento, they just swept the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Now they sweep the Dodgers again, and they're here again, red hot, feeling good about themselves.
Yeah.
But now it's time to turn the tide, because that was back in May, and that was during the horrible stretch for the A's, losing 20 out of 21. And if I'm correct, it was like 28 of 34, something like that.
Yes. Before we get to Gooby, though, we do have a great highlight from tonight. If you want to play it, I have the video.
The kid, the future, went yard tonight. Go.
2-2. Ripped up in the air out to right field. Confidant is going back. He looks up, and there it goes. El Mutante has his first as a lug nut. Leo loves Lansing, and the Nuts are in front 2-1.
That's a courtesy of the lug nuts, our good friends Jesse Goldberg Strassler and Adam Jackson on the play.
I was about to say, that's not my guy, Jesse Goldberg Strassler. I'll tell you that right now.
That's Adam Jackson on the play-by-play. Jesse's actually
Adam Jackson.
Yeah, Jacksa.
Wait,
Jacksa.
Adam Jacksa.
Yeah.
Leo loves Lansing,
Yeah.
and Lansing loves Leo. I love it.
So
what did he call him? First part of that home run?
2-2. Ripped up in the air out to right field. Confidant is going back. He looks up, and there it goes. El Mutante has his first as a lookup.
El something, whatever it is. Love me some Leo DeVries.
Has his first as a lug nut.
First home run in Lansing. How do you not love it?
So it translates to the mutant, which was given to him due to his impressive and sometimes otherworldly performances.
What is it? El what?
El Mutante.
El Mutante.
Which translates
I don't
to
care
the
what
mutant.
his nickname is.
Hold on real quick.
Get him here.
Hold on. Jesse just texted me live. He just tripled now, too.
So
otherworldly performance.
So El Mutante,
not the Martian in New York,
has homered, or what's his Abrams in Washington.
Yeah.
C.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Where's the alien?
Oh yeah.
El Mutante has homered. That's Leo DeVries, by the way. That's what we're talking about. The kid we just traded for, Mason Miller, the superstar 18-year-old kid. Has homered and tripled tonight. And I'm going to tell you right now, David Force was here. Was he here on Monday?
Monday, yeah.
Come on. Everybody's talking about it. This kid is going to be here quicker than you think. He is something special. Break.
No, we got to get the Gooby and Kotsay.
You want a Royals Hall of Famer? You want a World Series champion? You want one of the best color commentators? You want one of the best pitchers of his time? Is that what you want?
Yes.
Our buddy Mark.
Attracted all these psychos over the years.
Don't bring Nate the Great and the Psychos. By the way, that's for A's Talk. No one has any idea what that is. All right, Mark Gubicza. Gooby, we love having him on the program. Break down the series. But once again, Leo DeVries, superstar, number one prospect now for the Athletics, 18 years old, playing against guys older than him. Dinger and a triple tonight in Lansing. Leo loves Lansing, and Lansing loves Leo.
Correct.
I think I just added the Lansing loves Leo part.
Yes.
Can I be a part of the Lugnut broadcast team?
I'm sure we can get you Skyped in.
I love it.
Yeah.
Here is our buddy, Mark Gubicza. Gooby, it is great to see you. How is everything?
It was pretty good. I mean, I'll tell you what, this past weekend past week, I should say. I don't even know what day of the week it is, but it was insane at the Angel Stadium. The Dodgers were in town for 3 games, and I think they had a combined maybe 135,000 people. So 3 straight sellouts, 2 of the most unreal games I've ever seen. On Tuesday night, for a regular season game, I think it was the most unbelievable game I've ever seen and be a part of. I mean, Shohei Ohtani hits into a triple play, which is impossible. Then he comes up in the 9th inning, hits the go-ahead home run against Kenley Jansen, who's going to be a Hall of Famer. And then the Angels come back and walk it off and beat the Dodgers there at the end with all the fans. It was pretty insane.
How is the reception for Shohei Ohtani back at Angel Stadium?
It's still pretty good. He got a big ovation. And obviously the Wednesday night, he actually started the game. I got a chance to talk to him Tuesday night. We were having a fun time together. And he faces Trout for the first time since the World Baseball Classic. And I punched him out one time with a 101-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah.
But the Angels scored 4 runs against them, which is the most runs he's allowed in any game this year. And he led off the game with a triple. You're thinking, what is this guy? I mean, we always call him the unicorn, and there's a reason why. He did some stuff that I'm still shocked at. But for the Angels to win that game, too, they were behind 3-0, 5-2, and they came back and won that one, too. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I know we talked to you about this years ago, and now that he's no longer an Angel, and you really start to think about it, the bat, I mean, he's such a dynamic player. He's an MVP player. He'll go into the Hall of Fame as a hitter. But when he wants to pitch too, does it take away from the offense? And can he stay healthy as a pitcher? Like, what do you think what's best for him long term?
Yeah, that's a great question, because those last 3 years with the Angels, I mean, he was second, I think, in Cy Young voting over Justin Verlander that one year, and he was a 15-game winner. I don't think anybody can ever duplicate what he did those 3 years last with the Angels. He's hitting 40-plus home runs, winning double figures in games on the mound. He threw a 1-hit shutout in game 1 of a doubleheader. In game 2, he had 2 home runs in the game. I'm laughing my head off like, this dude ain't real. Yeah. And even like when he came to the plate or when he took the mound, I said it I know you would appreciate this. The only other person I felt had that energy in the
Don't
ballpark.
go Bo.
Yeah, it was Bo. Bo knows. That's what I always said. I got to get them together. Bo knows show. I mean, it was unreal. Everyone just sat there and everything on their feet, whether you were a Dodger fan there or an Angel fan, because you just don't know what he's going to do. Just the same thing as Bo. You didn't know what he was going to do on the field, throwing the ball, running the bases, or of course hitting the ball 500 feet.
Or chucking linebackers when he left and went to play for the LA Raiders. I mean, yeah. So whenever you bring up Bo, you're like, wow. I mean, that is when you talk about athletic greatness. No one is better than Bo Jackson, your former teammate. Angels, it's like, I know it's funny. Yogi Berra said it's like deja vu all over again. Here we are. You sweep the Dodgers, and you're coming to the ballpark in West Sacramento. Last time we saw that, the Angels showed up here and won 4 straight. So it's interesting. We're back in the same to sweep the Dodgers twice in a season. That just does not happen.
Yeah, it's first time ever, really, to win all 6 games. And you go back to last year, they've won 7 in a row against, they're the defending world champs. And coming here, I remember over the last number of years against the Athletics, the Angels have struggled, especially up Northern California. Kurtz is a phenomenal player. Langolier's hit. I mean, Brett Rooker just crushes the Angels. So they anticipate this being a battle where I'm assuming some home runs are going to be hitting this series. There'll be a few home runs hitting this series, but I think, when you look back historically since 2002, how close these two teams have been together as far as how many 1-run, 2-run games, how close they are, wins and losses. It's always fun when these two teams get together.
Well, when I just think about the Angels, it's like the direction, kind of like we know the direction of the A's. We know where the A's are going. We see all this young talent. They're going to want to add to it. They added Severino. They added Springs. What direction right now do you think the Angels are going in?
Yeah, that was a big question. Obviously, with the trade deadline, everyone's wondering you're going to be sellers at that point. And, everyone's talking about Taylor Ward. You thought about, Kenley Jansen and Luis Rengifo, a couple guys like that. But I think the market wasn't all that strong for those guys. And, for me, the Angels aren't real deep in the farm system as far as outfielders. So Taylor Ward's having an incredible year. He's getting close to a 3,000 season. And, so you can't quite replace that unless you get some significant, young players back in return. And for what I heard, it wasn't as good a package coming back. Kenley Jansen was surprising because you saw all those closers being moved all over the place. But, it's one of those weird things now that if they have a good series here against the Athletics, and all of a sudden for me, the American League is not real strong. The National League is way stronger. So everyone seems to go on one of those winning streaks. The Angels had an 8-game winning streak early in the season with the 4 here that you just don't know, and you don't want to alienate your fan base right now. And I think players like Zach Neto, a guy that I think personally they should keep and sign him long-term myself.
Oh, there are some special players for some young players. There's no question. Shannon was a really good player, so you got some young talent there. When we think about pitching, so today on NBC on our pregame show, we're going to talk about Jack Perkins throws his 4-seam fastball. He only throws it 61% of the time for a strike. The league average is 66%. I'm looking at this going, fastball, you only throw it 66% of the time for a strike, league average? What you had to be way higher than that.
Yeah, and I'm looking at his numbers. It's a firm fastball, too, and there's some pretty good numbers against what's about 304 batting average, a couple home runs. It's surprising. I think a lot of times guys are caught up into what is their swing and miss pitch. Majority of the time, it's going to be some sort of a breaking ball or a splitter. So they don't trust. Kikuchi's the same way. He's got a fastball. He's throwing 97 at times. He throws it about 34, 35% of the time. I always ask him, why do you – that's why his pitch count, that's why he's up to 100 pitches by the 5th inning every time. That makes it difficult. I know we're in an era where supposedly the wins for starting pitcher doesn't matter. You know how I feel about that one.
Yes.
But trust fastball, get outs, quick outs with fastballs. You can still ride the fastball up in the strike zone and get swing and misses. Hitters still have a tough time with elevated fastballs.
The fastball is still so hard to hit, and I think about you pumping the strike zone with movement. Can you imagine only throwing your fastball under 40% of the time?
Yeah, I know. That's a thing. And my elbow, as you can see, is already crooked. So I'm throwing too many sliders as it was. I couldn't imagine how bad it was if I didn't throw more fastballs. There was games, literally, I remember pitching a game in Milwaukee where I went, say, 9 innings. I threw like 90-some pitches. I threw 82 fastballs that day, mainly because they kept swinging. I kept going further off the plate. I'm like, why would I throw anything else but that if they're still swinging it? And it's hitting on the ground. It's not strikeouts. It's going to be made contact with on the ground, and we had a good defense. So I still think a well-located – Jim Palmer will say the same thing. A well-located fastball in the outside corner at the knees is still the best pitch.
Did you hear that? 9 innings.
Yeah.
You went 9 innings.
Yeah.
A pitcher, you took the ball – You left the bullpen before the game. You came out and you actually participated in all 9 innings of the game.
Well, seriously, my goal every time was to shake the catcher's hand. I figured I beat him up during the course of the game anyhow with breaking balls and sinkers in the dirt, that I'd at least deserve to shake his hand after 9 innings. And position players, I told you the story before, they gave me a lot of grief if I wasn't going at least 7 innings. So I always said I'd rather fight my manager than fight the players, so I take my chance of staying in the game.
That's how the old Cabana Boy came out, right?
Yes.
We had Jim Palmer here earlier this year when the Orioles came out, so Steve Sachs and I were interviewing him, and Palmer was great. Palmer goes, first couple innings, you're just getting fastballs. Prove you can hit it.
Yeah, and the thing is, when so often guys are already throwing every one of their pitches in the first inning, so you wonder why they're only going 2 or 3 times to a lineup. You're not throwing all your pitches in the first inning if you're spotting your fastball well, because then that breakball, the curveball, the slider, the changeup come into play. But if you're throwing all 4 of those pitches the first batter of the game, well, everyone in the on-deck circle, in the dugout, they already know what your repertoire is and what you're trying to get them out with. So you want to keep that, even though all the information right now, obviously everyone knows everything you throw, but that particular day may be different than the stuff they already have on printouts.
Is that just mind-boggling to you? Because I know when we're sitting in these games and you're seeing a guy's best strikeout pitch, his first 2 batters, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, I would always try. I wanted to keep my best pitches available for me when a guy's in scoring position, especially at the games of 1-0 tight game. I'm not giving away all my pitches right away. I'm going to force them to beat me early in the game with my fastball, but I'm going to spot it well. I'm not going to throw right down the middle of the plate. Although sometimes I could be wild. I might not have any idea where it's going, but I was still going to make sure I was saving my slider and my wipeout slider for a time when I needed it to get that punch out.
All right, you're a World Series champion. You're an all-star. You're in the Royals Hall of Fame. Just a wealth of knowledge as a pitcher. Do you ever get a chance to talk to the young Angels pitchers?
Yeah, I mean, those guys are pretty good because the last couple of years, especially this past year where I was in uniform with the team, and spring training, I was in there for 4 days, and Barry Enright, the pitching coach, gave me an opportunity to talk to the whole staff, guys on the 40-man roster, even some guys that weren't on the 40-man roster, for about an hour plus in a meeting room. So since that point, they're all come up and asked me about what they think I'm seeing for them, because it's a fraternity, and even hitters. So if you had a number, especially this team was really struggling early hitting, they come up, what would you be doing against us? And I would tell them, you got to look for your pitch. Now, in this day and age where pitchers are throwing as hard as they can, if you're a low ball hitter, at some point they're going to make a pitch in the lower zone. They can't stay up upper zone because they're trying to throw full max. Same thing if you like the ball upstairs. They're not going to be able to stay downstairs. They're going to make a mistake. You can't miss your mistake. Just like a pitcher, they're going to have a pitch to hit against you. You just got to make them uncomfortable when you make that mistake.
Yeah, I think it's a wealth of knowledge that you can bring to the young players. And I think what's so interesting about that, we'll end on this, is the fact that you're watching them on a daily basis. It's one thing when you bring an all-time great in and everybody's like, here they go. You're there every day watching and evaluating so you can help them because you are watching them and you are so invested in them.
Exactly. And, even more so now being in uniform, because I feel like I was back coaching high school baseball. These are like my kids now. These are my sons playing. So I have a vesting interest in what they should, in my opinion, what they should do, what they don't do well at certain times. Like the other day, Victor Medeiros, who's got a good arm, but he's pitching probably the next couple of days when we get back home against Cincinnati. He gave up 3 0-2 hits. He had to hit her on the defensive, but he threw 3 towards the middle of the plate. When you fight to get to 0-2, you got to have that wipeout pitch off the plate. You got to get them to swing at non-strike. So I think that comes into play, just those conversations, but also slowing the game down especially for young pitchers. And you see with your guys here with the Athletics, you can have great stuff, but if you're not, have an idea what you're doing or just trying to rear back and throw as hard as you can, chances are you're going to make a mistake.
Nobody works harder. You guys work hard, and that's why we always appreciate you coming on before the game. It means a lot, and we're always checking in on you guys to see how things are going. You are the best, and you know how much we love you here on A's Cast Live.
Every time I get the text to come on, I'm always going to be down there with you, my man.
Have a good series.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
the great Mark Gubicza right here on A's Cast Live. For the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by Folsom Lake Ford. Kots, how are you on a Friday here at the ballpark in West Sacramento?
I'm definitely not doing as well as you, Chris, right?
And why would that be?
There may have been a hole-in-one made yesterday, folks. Chris Townsend, San Jose Country Club, hole
7.
I get a picture of a scorecard yesterday
Did you really?
with a 1. And I'm like, I knew it wasn't our GM. I knew it wasn't David Force. There's no way that he would have had the skill set to put it in the hole from the tee box. But all I heard was this high draw, beautiful shot, hit, spun, bottom of the cup.
Next thing you know, they're bringing champagne out, taking pictures.
Taking the flag down.
Take the flag down. I mean, it was a magical moment.
All I want to know is how much did you actually spend at the bar after the round?
I have not seen my account yet, but I was getting pictures of people getting drinks on me as I was driving back here to Sacramento yesterday. People were at the bar getting,
as they should have been, celebrating you.
Yeah,
I mean, we're still celebrating you.
Yes,
This is a great day.
How are you?
I told you, I'm just.
What did you do on the day off? Did you get a hole-in-one or do anything special?
No, a lot special. Obviously, when you get to go home and spend time with your 3 kids that have been out, 2 of them have been out of the house. One's a senior, but both the
almost
college
back to
kids
school
were back
time,
home.
right?
Yeah, so we got to take a walk through the lagoon down to Solana Beach. See my niece. We spent about a half hour at the park. It was just family time yesterday.
Yeah, my kids go back on Sunday, so it's interesting. School time is here. I love what you've been doing with the lineup lately. I mean, I mentioned Kurtz before leading off. People thought I was crazy. You first did it with Shea Langoliers. He rewarded you. He's back at the top of the lineup again today. Just talk about changing things a little bit with the lineup.
Well, I think, obviously we know if Lawrence Butler is performing at the level he did last year, getting on base consistently, and really having the confidence that we need him to have, he's the leadoff hitter that gets us going. I mean, you can tell when the club goes like Lawrence at the top, setting the tone, having that energy, is where ultimately we would love to be. But over the last month and a half, 2 months, Law's been up and down. And I just thought it was a good time to kind of switch it up, get some guys that are really swinging the bats well up there as many times as possible. And Shea obviously has been swinging it really well for quite some time, and I like his presence in the leadoff spot right now.
Since the All-Star break, there aren't too many guys hotter than him. I mean, the 12 home runs, but really the way he's barreled it up. You look at the batting average, over 400. We get how physically talented he is. This is a mental game. What really switched for him? When we talk about the light is turned on, what is that for him?
Well, I just think that the more, consistent he's been with the mechanics of the swing, the adjustments he's made over the last 2 seasons, you've seen the strikeout rate decrease. You've seen the barrel percentage rate increase. Those are all signs of just a slight little mechanic adjustment that he started last year. And I just think that it's just built more and more confidence as he continues to see the success of it.
And he runs better than most catchers. It's amazing how fast he is.
He does. And, obviously we're not built to steal bases and play small ball. We're kind of built to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And so, yeah, it's nice to have a guy with that type of threat at the top of the lineup from the first pitch, and behind him, you run into Rook, you run into Kurtz, and others. So
when you talk about that confidence, like for Lawrence Butler, how do you help a guy get that confidence back?
Well, I mean, success, obviously, right? Like, I think, day before yesterday in the game, he hit a ball out to left center. Like, that's a great sign for Lawrence. When Lawrence is hitting the ball with authority the other way, a lot of things line up for him. And I think, leaving him in that 6-7 area where there's not this pressure from your first at bat to go out, get on base, set the tone, and just be a part of a lineup. I mean, that helps guys, I think, just get their confidence back and have an at bat that, they can just go up and focus on seeing the baseball and not worrying about a result.
When you talk about dealing with certain players, and I'm not just talking about Lawrence, but any player, Some guys need to, you got to put your arm around them. Some guys you got to kick in the butt a little bit. Like, how much do you look at that and how much you do it, how much love, how much butt kicking you need to do? Take us through that process.
Well, I think it varies. I mean, yes, it's individual. Each guy has their own ways of being motivated. And I think there's, a change in culture. And we've all seen it and we all know it, that the younger guys don't necessarily respond to the heavy hand.
A little different than Jim Leland and the Marlins when you came up?
Yeah, I think the Jim Leland stories that I have, I mean, my best ever Jim Leland story was my rookie year in August of 1998. We were a bunch of young kids getting our tails kicked by the Houston Astros in the Astrodome. Jim came in after a game. I think it was our third straight loss. And he had a team meeting, but before the team meeting, when he came into the room, the spread was all in the middle of the locker room. Spread meaning post-game meal.
Yeah.
And he ended up flipping the spread over, so there was no meal. And he wanted to make sure that we got out of the clubhouse as fast as possible. And he told us if we didn't get out of the clubhouse in 5 minutes, he was going to have us arrested for impersonating big leaguers. It was one of the best undressings I've ever heard. It was so classic Jim. And then the next day he'd come up to you and you go, hey, you like that, right? That was a good one yesterday. Right? So, yeah, we can't do that anymore. I can't go into the locker room in there and flip over Kai's beautiful spread in there.
Well, yeah, it's a full kitchen in there. I don't even know how you would do that.
The kitchen's upstairs, the locker room's downstairs. So, yeah, there's no food downstairs.
I would love to see it do that, though.
Yeah.
Can we if you ever do that, can we sneak in just to watch it?
Yeah, that's like,
It'd be
it would have
great.
to be a road clubhouse most likely, but yeah, Jim Leland,
When you'd have to make sure Leland didn't get his ashes on your shoes.
I remember going to the bat rack my rookie year in Florida. The bat rack was right next to the end of the bench, and that was the corner that he knew he could smoke in because the TV camera down the left field line, the gentleman that operated it knew not to pan in at him in the dugout, right?
Yeah.
So he would sit there in the corner and smoke, but he'd blow the smoke right into the bat rack, and he'd go get your bat. You'd just be like trying to dodge the smoke. It's so classic.
One thing we're going to talk about today and over the weekend is these last 39 games, finding pitching depth, because we know next year, we really like what we see with Severino and Springs and Lopez. It's like to find other guys. How big is that right now to find guys, pitching depth, guys that going into the offseason that you think will be able to help you in the rotation next year?
Yeah, I mean, 39 games sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's going to go really quick. I think, the young pitching that we have in the starting rotation right now, you got JT Ginn, you got Jack Perkins, you got Luis Morales, even Jacob Lopez. Jacob's had more starts, I think, consistently this season than the other three, obviously. But finding out, if Morales can handle the starting role, watching JT Ginn and seeing if we can make progress with JT. All these things are really important for coming out of the gate next year and going into spring training with like you said, an assessment of the pitching depth. And we want to focus on that, but we also, at the same point, we want to win as many games as possible down the stretch.
No doubt. And it's just a reality that teams are using on average anywhere between 12 to 13 different starting pitchers in a season. So it is important to find guys who you think could be a part of the answer going into the future.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's important here at the big league level. It's equally as important to, watch guys like Gage Jump and, there's a couple other kids down in AAA. The Morris kid is a right-handed starter. I mean, obviously Joey Estes was a big leaguer. Joey Estes has got a ton of time, ton of starts in the big leagues. See how his AAA season wraps up. So there's always a constant evaluation going on and a constant, desire to acquire more pitching and obviously, the pitching that we have, the young pitching we have, to develop them.
How important is it to get some of the hurt guys back and get them some at-bats for the end of the year when you think of Jacob Wilson and Max Muncy and some of the players that have been on the IL?
Yeah, it's really important. I think for any player on the IL right now, the goal is to get on the field before the season ends, and that really helps the confidence going into spring training, I think. So for Jacob, for Denzel, for Muntz, those three guys really, you want them to be back on this field at least for, a period of time before we end the season.
Would you say Denzel, who's I believe going to start playing tonight, is the closest?
Yeah, I mean, he is starting his rehab assignment tonight, so he is the closest. There's a hope that Jacob gets out at some point, maybe next week, or possibly sooner, but probably next week. And Muncie's a little bit further behind than those two.
Do you want me to come by the office and kind of take you through the whole hole-in-one about what I was thinking and take you through the whole process, the wind, and just let you really know everything that happened?
I think you just swung the club and then got lucky and it went in the hole.
The Mark Kotsay Show brought to you by Folsom Lake Ford.
When it comes to knocking it out of the park, nobody beats Folsom Lake Ford. Folsom Lake Ford is a 7-time Triple Crown Award winner, Ford Motor Company's highest honor, for being the best in customer satisfaction in sales, service, and finance. Step up to the plate for our biggest selection of new Ford models, including the legendary F-150, on sale now. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters in the Folsom Auto Mall, FolsomLakeFord.com.
That ball is out of here.
This has been a presentation of The Athletics.